Hey, yo, what's going on, people? It is Funky. My name is Funky or Tom. Welcome to some more information and in-depth look at WWE 2K22 My GM. Now, I know a lot of you out there are very excited for this game mode. Me personally, I'm so excited for it to return to the WWE Games series, and the 2K series finally gets its hands on GM mode. We're going to be taking an in-depth look, like I mentioned, at it today. I'm also going to have a quick trailer to show you guys, and then we're going to talk about some bits we've seen in the trailer, and I also want to know your opinions on what you think it looks like and how excited you are for it down in those comments below. Maybe you've pre-ordered the game already. Let me know which version. As always, a like on the video, subscribing to the channel helps tremendously, so please do that if you've not done so already. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play the trailer for you. Then I'll come back after the trailer. We'll have a quick little breakdown of the trailer and we'll talk about it, and we'll discuss little things that we picked up in the trailer. So right now, I will play the trailer for you guys and girls. You'll see it in real time. It's a full, I think, about 1.5 minutes. Enjoy the trailer. We'll come back, we'll break it down.
Now you can become a WWE General Manager and compete against rival GMs to build the biggest brand in WWE. Choose wisely between Adam Pearce, Sonya Deville, and more. Or even create your own custom GM. But if you want to go down in the WWE history books, choose me. Then make your selections. Keep track of your budget through the multiple draft rounds, add free agents to your roster, and create your mix of good guys or bad for more ways to boost your ratings. Become the top-rated show by setting up intense rivalries. Interfere in a match, schedule championship matchups, and set up premium live events. Now let's see if you've got what it takes.
So one of the very first things I noticed in this trailer, and I'm sure it's one of the first things you noticed as well, was being able to make your own custom GM. That's right, you're not limited to the 4 choices that we thought you were, which was Shane McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, Sonya Deville, and Adam Pearce. You can indeed actually make it feel a little bit more custom, a little bit more like you have created this, and insert your own custom created GM, which I think is an absolutely fantastic addition. It's something I did not expect to be added straight away, but the fact that it's implemented straight away in the first iteration of this version of GM mode that we got, I think it's fantastic. I'm really looking forward to seeing how you guys and girls out there implement this. Do you choose one of the 4 existing managers, or do you indeed make your own custom manager? It's going to be very exciting to see it play out and how everyone decides to use their GMs. Do they create one? Do they use one of the existing ones? I can't decide what I'm going to do, so let me know which you're going to do down below in the comments as we move on to the next thing I noticed. And immediately the next thing I noticed was this, and I'm sure it's the next thing you noticed as well: the actual draft round screen. It shows off a lot of things, and some things you may have noticed and some things you may have missed. So let's break it down and figure out if we can notice everything, and let me know if you notice anything that I may have missed. But the first thing I'm drawn to is the main center point of the screen with all the available superstars you can draft. We'll speak a little bit more about that in just a second, but then the next thing I noticed immediately was the top right where you have your budget. So makes sense, each show is going to have their own budget and you have to work within that budget, because if you don't, you're probably your show is just not gonna work very well, is it? So as we have a look at once again, the main center point here, you will notice a lot of things on the screen. First and foremost, you'll notice the superstars. They all have a star, and it depends how much that star is full, will depend on how I guess, over, you can call it, that Superstar is. So we'll speak about some individual Superstars in a second, but first of all, let's have a look at the role. So it looks like there's a good guy, bad guy, or a heel or face role assigned to each Superstar. We also have classes for each Superstar, which we'll go into in a second. And then you have, obviously, the price that will cost to sign a Superstar. So the more that star is full, the more expensive that Superstar is going to be. So as you can see, Roman Reigns being the most expensive available Superstar at the moment. And then Jimmy Uso on that screen right there, I'm sure if we scroll down, we'd probably see some more, is the least expensive. But then we have a look at those classes, and Roman Reigns has a bruiser class, Finn Balor has a fighter class, Edge has a specialist, and we have a cruiser class there on Jimmy Uso. And if you look off to the right, you'll see the same class on Rey Mysterio. So everyone's going to have their own individual classes. That will affect how they have matches, I'd imagine. It's going to be interesting to see how this all works together. But then the last two things we have are stamina and popularity. Now, if you've played 2KG or if you played GM modes of WWE games before, you will know exactly what these are. But if not, I'll explain them to you quickly. Stamina is basically how healthy your Superstar is. So you don't want to put them in a table match every week, a cage match every week, a Hell in a Cell every week. You want to say matches like that. You can do it every once in a while. But if you keep doing it, their stamina will go down really low and they will eventually get injured. Popularity kind of speaks for itself. It's how popular they are on your show. The more they grow in popularity, the better rating matches you're going to have, and the more crowd interaction you're going to have, and the more crowd and the more fans you're going to lure over to your side. So let's move on to the next thing. I think I've pretty much covered everything on that. There is some names there that we haven't officially confirmed to be in the game yet, like a Dexter Lumis, like a Trent Seven. You might have spotted those as well. But if I have missed anything else, please do point it out to me. But I think I've covered everything on this screen. We'll move on to the next one. And the next screen I noticed was this screen right here. And this is the free agents screen. And there's a lot of things to notice on this. Some of you may have missed if you quickly watched the trailer. But first and foremost, there seems to be like custom Superstars on it. If you look down at the bottom of the screen, there is Chester who has a mop. He appears to have a mop and is wearing a white tank top. Then you have like Nova Northern Light, who just looks like a basic creator wrestler. Nicholas Mann, Brute Force, Jake Xanadu, all these made up people, Maya T. Kirk. But then we move on to some familiar faces. But as you can also notice, they will all have different prices to sign them, again, obviously. But they seem to all have different contract lengths. So that's one of the things I noticed straight away. So Charlotte, for example, there says permanent, which I'd imagine is a permanent signing. Whereas Bobby Roode there next to her has 10 weeks. And directly under her, you will see Cedric Alexander has 5 weeks. So that's interesting to see exactly how that works. I wonder if you have no option or if you have no choice, if you can sign them on a permanent or 6 weeks or 5 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever it may be, or they are strictly, this is the contract I want, I will not sign for anything else. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But let me know what you think it might be. Do you think it is a guaranteed? And what do you think of the random superstars? I think it's a good feature. I think it's a cool feature. I wonder if you can add your own created wrestlers into it. That's another thing I'd love to be able to find out. Are these basically supposed to be your implemented created wrestlers? Or are they just already in my GM mode, random made up wrestlers? That'll be interesting to see, because if you can add in your own created wrestlers, that'll be awesome. I'm sure we'll absolutely all love that. This next thing I noticed was probably one of the least expected things in the trailer. You can interfere in matches with your GM. This is fantastic. This is amazing. This means that you can basically play as a heel GM if you decide to, and you can cost individual superstars matches, you can get involved, you can make your presence known. I really, really love this addition to it, and you can kind of align yourself with a superstar maybe. This is amazing. I love this. I absolutely love this. You can play the heel authority figure. You can get involved maybe and save the day as a babyface authority. I love this. This is a fantastic, small addition, but also big addition at the same time. It's something amazing. I want to see how far you can go with something like this. Can you become a manager while being a GM? You get what I mean? Can you be a Paul Heyman to a Roman Reigns, but also can you be Paul Heyman managing the show itself. That'll be interesting to see how that works out. And this screen is probably where we will wrap up. It is the last big thing I noticed. If there is anything I missed, please do let me know in those comments below. And while you're there, please do drop a like on the video. I'd greatly appreciate it if you're excited for some WWE 2K22 content. I will stream this on Twitch, by the way, so if you don't already follow me on Twitch, there's a quick plug to the Twitch. My Twitch is linked down below with all my socials as well, so go follow them all. We have a Discord server as well. Go check that out. But back to this. This is obviously your booking sheet, if you want to call it that. This gives you your match ratings. It gives you how much the match costs to run on the show. It gives you your star ratings. It gives you who was in which particular match, what match it was. You can also, I'd imagine, that main events are supposed to be big payoff matches with your best, hottest superstars. But as you can see, to kick off this particular show, and it looks like it might have been a WrestleMania show, it was Rhea Ripley versus Sasha Banks in a barnstormer. 4.5 stars. Rhea Ripley got the win for this one. In the next match, we had an Extreme Rules, AJ Styles versus Xavier Woods. Then we had a tables of Bobby Lashley versus Ricochet. Then we had a Women's Championship of Bianca Belair versus Asuka. And then you had a John Cena versus The Miz in an Extreme Rules match for the Universal title, or the Blue Universal title, as some people love to call it. But as you can see, each match costs you a certain amount of money. If you just have a regular, normal, bog standard match, it costs you nothing. But if you decide to put a little bit of sauce on it, put a little bit of specialness into the match, then it will cost you more. The more high tier match you have, like a Hell in a Cell, or high risk I should say, the more likely your superstars are to get injured. They will lose stamina, but it will also probably lead to a better star rating, but it will also then cost more. So it's little risks and rewards with these matches. The stuff on the right that says unbooked, I don't fully know what that is. If I had to guess, and going off previous GM modes, I'd say it's probably stuff like promos and advertising and stuff like that. But as you can see, it's all unbooked here, so we don't know that for sure. But that is going to wrap up this video, this breakdown of GM mode. If I did miss anything, please let me know in those comments. I'd love to hear you guys and girls' opinions on the trailer, what you're very excited for, what you're most excited for. I want to know how you're going to make your universe, your creation, your roster grow. Who's going to be your first draft pick? That's what I'd love to hear as well. Let me know down below in the comments. That's it for today. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.